Welcome back, dear Whispers of Turkish Stars family. The studio feels different today, as if the lights dimmed themselves in expectation and the walls leaned in to listen. While the last confetti of New Year's parties still clings to city streets and the echoes of countdowns fade, we've zeroed in on a small detail many scrolled past, one of those quiet signals that, for those who know how to read them, says more than 1,000 posed photos ever could. Before we begin this deep dive into hearts, habits, and a romance lived in the crosshairs of a curious world, make sure you're subscribed to Whispers of Turkish Stars, tap the bell so you never miss a murmur, and show your support with a like. And for the loyal souls who carry us forward, the join button is there with exclusive content we prepare just for you. Picture the moment. The planet stepping into 2026 in a storm of fireworks, glasses touching, familiar promises recycled with glossy smiles. In the middle of the celebration, Özge Yağız chose not to add another predictable snapshot to the carousel. No glittery toast, no elaborate caption, no ready-made happiness to feed the algorithm. Instead, she sent a line into the night, precise and clipped, like a door left slightly open to a room you're not sure you're allowed to enter. Not a filtered portrait. Not a public declaration of triumph or love. Just a sentence with a heartbeat that seemed to pulse in the pause that followed. In 2026, the one shift I hope for is, and there it stopped. A thought hanging in the air. An ellipsis that hummed louder than a scream. Of course, Istanbul's rumor mill spun to life. What did that pause conceal? Özge, beloved yet dissected by 1,000 eyes, has grown up in front of the camera and learned to survive behind it. And right beside her stands Gökberk Demirci, disciplined, quietly intense, a leading man whose devotion to the craft is as admired as the gentle steadiness he shows offscreen. Their schedules rarely behave. Their names in a headline ignite imaginations in seconds. So the questions came in waves: a secret complaint aimed at him? A warning disguised as poetry? Or the first tremor of an imminent earthquake? Tabloids did what tabloids do. Pressing fingers against a polished surface until they believe they've found a crack. Yet the tone of Özge's message lacked panic, lacked that frantic energy that tends to accompany final straws in public implosions. It had poise. It had precision. It sounded like a woman who has learned to keep her footing even when the world tilts. This wasn't a flare hurled skyward from a sinking ship. It was a measured choice, the announcement of a captain who has stopped taking directions shouted from the shore and started steering her own course. Insiders close to Özge tell us that post was not champagne bravado or passive-aggressive theater. It was the distilled result of months spent retreating from the noise and listening for her own voice again. She's done waiting for life to surprise her. Now she wants to shape it. And no, she's not hunting for a new partner, a new entourage, or an escape hatch to a different city. What she wants is a profound adjustment in rhythm, a new pattern for giving and receiving energy, a reset of what the world gets to see and what belongs only to her. She's not searching for a different cast, she's rewriting the script. Those who know her sense the contours of that change. She's not trying to bend Gökberk into anything he isn't, the affection there is real and deep. What she wants is more candor, less performance. Slower breathing in the middle of a storm. A steadier ground when schedules, speculation, and strangers begin to erode the edges of their days. She wants fewer auditions for public approval and more moments unguarded. If she once softened her words to ease other people's discomfort, she seems ready now to let truth be kind without being small. Isn't it striking, Whispers of Turkish Stars family? In a world obsessed with being on, capturing, and posting, watching a young woman claim privacy as a form of power feels almost rebellious. Let us ask you directly, have you ever felt your life narrated by voices that aren't yours? What do you make of Özge's choice to close the blinds so that the room behind them can finally feel like home? We'll be reading your thoughts below, as always. And if you value this kind of conversation, deeper than gossip, yet not devoid of the messy, beautiful heartbeat of real life, consider becoming a channel member with Join. Your support lets us remain independent and unafraid to look beneath the headline gloss. For years, the public framed Özge and Gökberk as an ideal, gleaming, effortless, Turkey's darlings. Yet once you strip away the premieres, the flights, the fan accounts tracking every glance, what remains is two people trying to make a life in a crowded room. Two demanding careers. calendars that refuse to line up, peanut galleries shouting through windows that should be closed. Under that pressure, Özge's wish for change stops sounding cryptic and starts sounding practical. Insiders summed up her goal this way: a life designed around mutual clarity and firm borders, not a carnival where anyone with a megaphone can direct the show. The phrase is simple. The impact, huge. Both Özge and Gökberk have ridden waves of misunderstandings. Screenshots out of context, rumors that multiply overnight, messages filtered through a dozen well-meaning mouths. Their North Star for 2026 is not separation, despite the anxious whispers. It's protection. She wants a circle where only two voices count, hers and his. Not distance from love, but a defense of it. A cornerstone of her plan is shrinking her public footprint. More living, fewer words, is how friends paraphrase it. In a digital age that confuses illumination with heat, Özge is quietly stepping out of the glare. She has told confidants that joy does not grow in a broadcasting chamber, sometimes it evaporates there, thinned by misreadings and projections. Moving her heart to safer rooms isn't a stunt to outwit cameras, it's survival for her spirit. She believes a relationship that isn't constantly narrated for an audience will be gentler, stronger, and more likely to last for both of them. Less performance intimacy, more actual closeness. Fewer eyes, sturdier doors. As those outside voices lower to a hush, she expects to hear her own instincts again and his unguarded thoughts until something unshakable begins to hum between them. You can't tell Özge's story right now without tracing how Gökberk is changing alongside her. People around him say one word keeps surfacing in his conversations: balance. He's famous for pushing himself to the limit for roles. A perfectionist who trains until the work looks effortless. To hear him talk about recalibration is to witness a shift in priorities, not a surrender of ambition. He isn't easing up on the craft, he's making sure the man wearing the costume still has room to breathe. That timing, both of them arriving here as the clock turns, feels less like coincidence and more like alignment. At a small New Year's dinner with trusted friends, Gökberk is said to have put it this way: "We aren't chasing a brand new life, we're streamlining the life we already treasure." Let that sink in. Fewer storms, stronger roots. Fewer misunderstood texts, more look-me-in-the-eyes conversations. Less applause measured in views, more laughter that belongs to no one but them. Together, they're sketching house rules for a fortress not made of stone but of daily choices. Not letting set stress take the couch hostage, refusing to postpone tender talks until exhaustion makes them brittle, and offering each other faith before they listen to the crowd. Perhaps the bravest part of Özge's decision is the quiet refusal to be pleasing at all costs. She knows her public image, the softened edges, the warmth that diffuses tension, the smile that steadies the room. But kindness and appeasement are not the same thing, and dignity sometimes requires disappointing those who preferred you compliant. People close to her say she's done carrying the weight of other people's comfort. Following her inner compass will look like firmer boundaries, short and guilt-free no's, fewer long explanations meant to win unanimous approval. It's not vengeance. It's a new seating plan for her life's theater. The ones who ignite chaos take the back row. The ones who bring curiosity, patience, and grace, like Gökberk, move closer to the center. Call it emotional hygiene. Call it a reset written in the name of mental clarity. The point is growth. It can startle those who grew attached to a gentler version of you, the one who smiled even when the room swallowed your voice. But maturation often disorients the audience who came for the greatest hits and stayed for the repetition. Özge is rewriting the setlist. So what about that unfinished sentence? If you look closely, the meaning emerges like sunrise spreading over the Bosphorus. 2026 is not about walking away. It's about reinforcing load-bearing walls. That fragment wasn't a cry for rescue. It was a blueprint. Özge is done pleading with the weather, she's building shelter that can withstand it. She wants the outside volume down low enough to hear the two most important voices in the room, her own and the man she loves. Not drifting apart, but meeting in a space where fame and fear can't easily breathe. A small room filled with plain words, thoughtful silences, and boundaries that feel less like fences and more like warm walls. And in that room, love stops being a spectacle. it becomes a practice. Less red carpet, more morning coffee and socks. Less performance, more promise. You can almost hear it, the gentle hum of two lives aligning in ways the camera can't capture, by choice and repetition, again and again. So, dear Whispers of Turkish Stars family, what began as panic in the comment sections turns out to be something else entirely, a lesson in maturity. Özge and Gökberk are not signaling collapse, they're committing to craft. The craft of a shared life shaped by intention. What do you think of this creed of strong habits, this decision to simplify, to guard what matters, to speak less and live more? Will it keep uninvited voices at bay in 2026? Tell us in the comments. Like this video if you believe quiet can be powerful. Subscribe to join our circle for stories told with care. And consider pressing join to support the work we do here at Whispers of Turkish Stars, where we search for the pulse behind the headline. Until next time, and may your boundaries hold and your love hold you.